Welcome to Thinking Hotels Live, a new LinkedIn Live series from ABB Smart Buildings. I am Sumaya Bawani and I will be moderating today's discussion. This is our first session where sustainability checks in. We noticed that the hotel industry faces really ambitious targets, cutting emissions by 90% by 2050. So today, we're going to explore how smart buildings technology can help hotels meet these goals, improve operations, and deliver a great guest experience. I can see many of you already joining us live, so welcome and thank you very much for being here today. Why don't you let us know where you're dialing in from in the comments tab? And we really love to always see the global mix of our audiences. Don't forget that you can also share your questions in the chat at any time. In today's agenda, we have a section where we'll be answering your questions, so please send them through as you listen to our session today. Let's dive in. As you can see, I'm joined by other faces on screen today. We are delighted to have Brune Poisson with us, an international recognized sustainability leader and the former head of sustainability at Accor. She has experience across government, business, and international organizations. Brune will help us set the stage today on the ESG imperatives and really painting that big picture for hospitality. Alongside Brune, we also have Lucy Huan. She is the ABB's business line leader for building automation and brings deep expertise in how buildings, particularly smart building technologies, are transforming hotel operations in context of efficiency and sustainability. And we're also joined by Aldo Shaka. He's the head of product management and R&D at ABB Smart Buildings, and he will focus on how innovation in automation and R&D can meet the sector's evolving needs. So why are we here today? Why does all of this matter? And here I probably would like to invite Brune to just talk a little bit about why sustainability is no longer an option and a nice to have when we think about the hospitality sector.
Well, actually, today, just like you just said, today, sustainability is a business imperative. It used to be something nice to have on the side, but actually it has become a business priority. And climate change has become very real. If you look at heat wave, rising energy costs, water scarcity, all of that is becoming very concrete. And all those challenges need to be tackled also with tangible solutions. And if you look at the hospitality industry at large, every stakeholder, every key stakeholder wants action and not just pledges. If you listen to investors, regulators, but also employees or guests, that's what they want, action. And this means, a shift for hotel developers, but also hotel brands. They need to align their operations with ESG goals. We need to prove that actually data is linked to progress and accountability, obviously. And also, they need to embed sustainability into every level of decision making.
Yeah.
And there's also a very important challenge is that while you're doing all this investment into sustainability, such as reducing energy and water conservation or reducing waste and all of that, you also need at the same time to lower operational costs and improve the profitability of hotels. So that's sort of the challenge and the balance that needs to be found.
And those are critical roadblocks, which are very, very real, Brune.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hotel groups today, they really face important challenges in meeting the net zero targets and also all the new compliance frameworks, especially across, if you look at a lot of hotel companies across different geographies, portfolios, or even building types. And so that change is made complicated by all the legacy infrastructure, the inconsistent standards, and also, most importantly, and I just touched on that, the tension between the short-term return on investment and the longer-term sustainability planning. And that's sort of the challenge.
Brune, that sets the picture beautifully when we now move gears into Aldo and Lucy. But before we do that, we'd also love to hear from the audience. When you think about the biggest sustainability challenge that you see in hospitality, drop a note on this in the chat so that we're able to also unpack this and dive into it a bit later. But Lucy, now that the challenges are painted beautifully by Brune externally. Is it possible for you to kind of unpack how these challenges and how we are actually facing it in meeting the imperatives around it?
Okay, thanks, Sumaya. Yeah. So basically, around 60% of a hotel's carbon footprint come from energy use, from heating, cooling, ventilation, or lighting in the room and hot water. And with the thousands of hotel projects ABB supported worldwide over the last decades, the challenges we hear very often from the hotel operators or facility managers or hotel owners are quite consistent. Raising energy costs and keep guest comfort while reducing energy consumptions and continuously increasing regulatory pressure. For example, I'm living in Singapore. I just give one example here in Singapore. The carbon tax rose from 5 Singapore dollars per ton of CO2 in 2023, has been increased to $25 by 2025 this year. And it's also expected to reach to $50 to $80 by 2030. This is a major financial burden if the hotel don't proactively manage energy and CO2 emissions. And now let me also share a very bad example that bring this to real life. A luxury or five-star beachfront hotel in Dubai had an indoor and outdoor swimming pool, kept at 30 to 30 degree year-round. Here, what happened? The heated pool generated continuous evaporation, pushing moist air into corridor and the guest room. The guest room cooling system tried to compensate, but they were not designed for that humidity load. Humidity rose sharply. Within weeks, guests began complaining about sticky rooms and condensation. Maintenance team in the hotel found the moisture damage spread into entire hotel. Energy bills, of course, is going up heavily. This result, of course, dissatisfied guests, crazy increased operation costs, and eventually a costly renovation project for entire hotel. All of this could have been avoided with proper technology.
Yeah, I'm nodding because coming from Dubai, I can understand this challenge of the context in that environment. But which technologies are really helping us to tackle these issues, Lucy?
Yeah, that's really where technology makes a difference. Our role is really take today's this kind of hotel challenges and translate them into a smart and digital solution. And the biggest opportunity lies in automation. Take HVAC, for example. Yeah. It can account for up to half of the hotel total energy use. With building automation, we can optimize the entire system from central chillers at her unit to room level controls. That means coordinated operations, smart set points, and advanced strategies that cut energy use without compromising guest comfort. And it goes beyond HVAC from the building. Also, room automation for lighting, shading, and temperature control not only lower energy consumptions but also enhance the guest living experience. From hotel owners and operators, this direct supports compliance with fast evolving sustainability regulations. And another way is with digitalization. Connected system and intuitive dashboards. The hotel operators or hotel facility managers can gain the whole building portfolio wide visibility. And when these systems are interoperable, speaking the same language, connect each other, efficiency scale dramatically. And hotel can optimize performance, lower down the energy bills, and significantly reduce carbon footprint across their entire building portfolio and hotel portfolios. Now let's revisit this Dubai five-star luxury hotel, right? I mentioned earlier. This is exactly the point. Without automation, the property, the hotel, faced humidity, inefficiency, and very high energy cost. With proper building automation, this risk could have been turned into opportunity. Stable operations, measurable savings, and resilience against energy price changes regularly or in a very unpredictable way, and also a lot of and more regulatory pressure.
Yeah, and I think there's also this topic around integration and how and where systems need to be integrated and what's happening in that regard. Perhaps, Elder, you can unpack this for us, particularly when you think about hotel operators in their efforts to become more efficient.
Yes, I think technology plays a big role into this race to make this industry more sustainable. And one element of reflection that I want to bring into this panel is that everything starts behind the scenes. So there are very important infrastructure, electrical, thermal, that are basically dispatching the energy in the hotels based on the needs that the hotel users have. And the magic can start already at that level. Then that infrastructure should be designed properly to match the needs and also the environmental boundary condition where the hotel is placed. Again, tying up a little bit with the example that Lucy made in Dubai, these things are born in the infrastructure and in the design phase. But it's not enough to have a very good, well-designed electrical and thermal infrastructure into the hotel. It's also very important to equip it with sensors and automation elements that allow the collection, the real-time collection of data. This data can then be used in a way that allow the hotel operator to maximize their business objective, still by matching fully the expectation of the guest, because there is no, gain in energy saving, in sustainability, when the comfort of the guest is compromised. And all the technologies that are available today make this very easy to make. So the basic infrastructure, making it intelligence with sensor and automation, collecting data, and then very easy, scalable, modular software elements that allow the proper decision making.
Yeah, so technology clearly is a key enabler, but only if applied smartly is what I'm also hearing here. But there's a lot of this great technology, but why are hotels getting it wrong, though?
Well, I think part of the making it wrong depends on the fact that there is the idea that layering up solutions, so adding more technology, will increase the performance in terms of energy saving and finally sustainability to the hotels. That's not the case in our opinion. The key secret here is to be modular with the technology, even have starting levels, based on the needs. We have large hotel chains, but we have even smaller chains. We have single hotels, and each one may start its sustainability journey and energy saving journey from a certain objective. I make you an example. Now with the integration of renewables, even in hotel structures, with EV charging and maybe even storage in the hotels, there are energy source and big load that need to be managed. So it's not only the comfort element of HVAC, but maybe also the power management in the building that become relevant. So for instance, you can play with subsystem like the Insight Pro energy management from ABB that address properly the management of power at electrical distribution level. This is a subsystem, very simple, elemental, that can be used as standalone with this software visualization, with these apps, but it can be also pulled into a larger system, like the one Lucy had already started to describe. And so an hotel operator can start by managing its power and then can manage all the HVAC attributes, can associate this to the room occupancy, can make this activity around sustainability more intelligent and user-friendly and guest-friendly, still achieving its economical objective in this sense.
I guess that talks to a little bit about how we are simplifying the complexity, because this is complex given what you've just shared now. And I think another point that you mentioned early on was data. And maybe I'll just hand it over to Lucy here, because I think data is so important, but not always do we understand why does data visibility matter, right? And in context of hospitality, Lucy, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and share your views with the audience.
Yes, Sumaya, yes, I always say you cannot improve what you cannot see, right? Without data visibility, hotels are operating in the dark. They cannot fully understand energy use, for example, and compare performance across different hotel properties, or prove compliance with fast changing sustainability use. And that's where automation and digitalization work together.
Yeah.
Automation, provides the real-time control of a critical systems like in the HVAC, chillers, large equipments, lighting, hot water, shading, those kind of components. And digitalization turns those kind of system data into actionable insights. Clear dashboard, which you can see typically by operator and facility managers, showing energy consumptions of the hotel, asset usage, and alarms, and which are pumping into the system, and also the KPIs across an entire hotels, not just one hotel site. Why does this data visibility matters, right? Because when data from those system application displays like HVAC lighting, room management, and even occupancy sensors, when these data are all connected, hotels move from reactive firefighting to proactive planning. With that, they can spot inefficiencies and save energy. They can really start to use predictive maintenance information provided from through this data analysis to fix issues before guests notice. And the benchmark those different hotel performance, to understand where is a better improved hotel and where they need to do work more, and also provide such kind of sustainability reports, for example, ES report to regulators and investors. Well, such kind of sustainability reporting is absolutely becoming a license to continue to let this kind of hotel operate. For example, let me give you example. I recently joined a hotel exhibition in Singapore, and I was speaking with some regional hotel chain in Asia. There's a new regulation demanded proof of energy reduction across all the hotel properties. At first, the hotel chain manager, they feared weeks about this manual reports has to going to rise up a lot of costs. But once, and we discussed, we mentioned, once those things connected on a single interoperable platform with their HVAC, lighting, shading, all of this kind of data, it's not just to having smart decision by understanding, analyzing those data, but it also can easily to release the compliance report or sustainability reports, which are generating, per month, per quarter, per year, per any time you want, right? This kind of instant reports and easily providing to those as a chain of the hotel manager, operation managers, this is turning the burdens, basically such kind of manual report burdens, into a very competitive edge.
Yeah.
With our ABB solutions, we are providing KNX room automation, and then with HVAC control, building management system, and also as Ardo mentioned, a lot of smart sensors, and even from the electrification, smart current sensors. All this data comes together into one interoperable data dashboard. That means is the hotel get into this kind of fast response, smarter services, and ultimately a better guest experience, right? So the data visibility It's not just about numbers on the screen, which you see. It's really about confidence. The confidence of the act decisively by the hotel operators and hotel owners. They can see what is working. They can stop waste the energies and then tracking all of these energy consumptions. And they can plan resources ahead with clarity. They can even improve the labor cost with that. In very short sentence, sorry, Sue, very excited about this, right?
Of
The
course.
data visibility. Yeah.
I love this passion. I really love it. I think that, in short, it sounds as though the visibility that you will provide will really transform the complexity, right? Because we're looking for the
Yes.
opportunities. So it's amazing. But let's bring this real life, Lucy. Do you have an example for us so we can help our audience really unpack this?
Absolutely. Yes, Sumaya. In the Living Tomorrow project, we worked with a local hotel in Belgium to integrate smart systems like HVAC, lighting, shading, security, and even energy management to create a low carbon center of excellence. So, but let's watch the video and to see how does it work.
Something extraordinary is happening in Brussels. It's where the future of hospitality lives and breathes. In a building that never sleeps. As the sun rises, an orchestra of technologies begin their daily symphony. Every sensor, every system, every smart solution working as one. This is a smart, multifunctional ecosystem with a hotel that offers more than a stay. It's built to think. Guests don't just enter rooms. The room welcomes the guest. Climate doesn't just change, it anticipates. Light doesn't just illuminate, it creates a moment. It's a personalized experience designed to impress. While guests enjoy perfection, the real magic happens behind the scenes. Powered by open protocols, modular design, smart sensors, and presence detectors. ABB's smart systems quietly drive a low-carbon, high-efficient building. Whether upgrading or building new, ABB's building automation, electrification, and smart energy solutions scale globally to personalized guest experiences in hospitality. So imagine this story multiplied in Finland's boutique retreats, to the forest of Brazil and Dubai's resorts. Because what happened here isn't just proof of concept, it's proof of possibility. ABB, your trusted partner for your next smart, sustainable hotel project. Built to think, designed to impress.
So as you've seen these examples, it'll be good to still hear from you. We love the engagement that's coming through, especially with the questions. So let us know in the comments if you've seen similar approaches in your regions or in properties that you actually visited. I'm eager to know. So now let's shift gears to Brune, because I think, when we think about sustainability in hospitality, we always want to think about success in any project, right? What does success look like? So Brune, over to you on expanding this for us, please.
I can share what we've learned at Accor. Obviously, it's not perfect, and I'm not pretending we are, but we've had actually success into integrating sustainability into the operational fabric, and not just into the way hotels are built, but really how they're run daily. But again, some barriers remain if you think about financing or internal alignment or even like managing the evolution of the regulation. But still, really, what we've learned and what is to us absolutely key to success is the operational sustainability that must be and must sit alongside sustainable design. It cannot be on the side, it cannot be behind it. And so a building can be beautifully designed, it can be really energy efficient on paper. But if it's not managed and operated efficiently on a day-to-day, it's not going to deliver real sustainability outcomes. And I think it's the case for all type of hotels, from newly built to conversions to even existing properties, obviously. all of those hotels, different categories, they face their own set of specific challenges, obviously, but in all cases, operational sustainability must be managed efficiently in the day-to-day to deliver real sustainability outcomes. I think that's critical. Sustainability is a day-to-day job.
Yeah, no, and I love that example, Brune. Was there also an opportunity for you to look at sustainability certification through the process?
Oh, absolutely. It was actually critical to look at that, and it really helped because it provided a sense of direction and energy to the teams, and also it helped sort of monitor progress and get to that.
Okay, great. Now I know that it's something that we strive towards regarding BREEAM and LEED. And I think that moves very nicely to where we're heading next, right? So hotels, it was very clearly put, Lucy, hotels need to cut carbon emissions by 90% by 2050. Where are we heading next in this context?
Yeah, so that's a very powerful question, Sumaya. The hospitality industry actually at this moment is at a very big turning point. I remember the example in the very beginning about Singapore's carbon tax, right? It goes up to from 5 Singapore dollar in 2023, goes to $25 2025 and continue going up. So for hotels, this is not just a financial burden. It's also a clear signal and commitment that sustainability is becoming the future license to operate. And to meet the target of cutting absolute emission by 90% per room by 2050, the hotels must rethink operations, finding the balance between sustainability and the guest experience.
Yeah.
Our vision actually, is to help create a smart, sustainable hotel that we can having the hotel energy efficient and operating closer to net zero. And we're also aiming to have this asset conscious management, extending the life circle of equipment and even the renovation lifetime of the buildings. And we have to focus on the guest finally
Yeah.
to deliver the comfort and convenience and the personalization of a guest experience and of course safety. At ABB, we are really moving beyond the individual hotel project to finding and to partnership and to become the preferred vendor for hotel solutions like a group. Like a IHG, and we are partnership, and also Accor, Hilton, in the future, more and more hotel chains, stepping up, becoming really the trust partner and preferred hotel solution provider. What does this future look like, by having this all of the hotel solution? What we're aiming to become, we want to really have is quite some predictive maintenance that prevent issues before guest notice, and portfolio integration from HVAC, lighting, shading, and all different type of hotel management to have this best practice skill across different regions, and also having some open flexible platforms that to be able to adapt to tighter regulations and rising guest expectations. And also beyond building automation from ABB, we are very, very strong from ABB from the electrification solution and products, from the smart power and energy distributions to advanced energy management. We are going to embrace into the total hotel, as a total hotel providers. So basically, this is going to really advance hotel from building automation and from electrification solutions to really help the hotel to cut emission at the source. This is direction. Yeah.
It's kind of where sustainability, efficiency, and a bit
Yeah.
of satisfaction go hand in hand. So, no, I think that's great said. I'm eager to also hear on the hotel operations side. So perhaps we can shift gears to you, Aldo, in terms of what's next for sustainability. But before you kick off, maybe for those watching, what's the one thing hotels must do differently this decade? Please share your thoughts in the chat and we may pick some of these up in the Q&A. So over to you, Aldo. Thanks, Lucy.
Well, if you think at what can come next in terms of technology, I think there is artificial intelligence. We are living in this hype in this moment, but it's not a hype. I mean, it's obvious that it can automatize, simplify, even reach the optimal point in a much faster and easier way that with other more deterministic technologies. So I think what is going to happen in hotel management is that optimization made through AI agents will take over in the close future and will allow really that kind of personalization that match the expectation of a guest while still allowing the hotel operator to achieve their financial goals, you know, because they run a business, so they want to be successful in that business. There is always a win-win situation. Look, we have all had the experience to freeze in a hotel room. This is energy wasted. Or to interact with, you know, you need a QE 180 type of thermostat in a room to go down 2 degrees in temperature or to go out 2 degrees to discover that it was not possible to do it because there was a rule. These things may be enormously simplified by the adoption of AI agents that help this optimization and this customization without any compromise for the business success of the hotel operators.
And before we move to Q&A, perhaps, Brun, you want to maybe build on that, kind of what's next when we think about sustainability in the hotel operations?
Well, actually, maybe sort of exactly building on what Aldo just said. And Lucy, I think the hotels that will thrive and that thrive already, what we've seen is the hotels that actually move from ad hoc initiatives to really a much more systemic and scalable approach and even set of approaches. But they have to be systemic, they have to be grounded in data. I think that's critical. So obviously enabled by tech and embedded, and that's also really important, embedded across every level of the organization with the buy-in of all the key stakeholders. And that's how you get the systemic approach that's needed to move away from ad hoc measures and to really get impact on a large scale.
Thank you very much, Brun, Aldo, and Lucy. We are at that section of the agenda where we're going to be shifting to the audience who's raised some of their questions. We have some excellent questions that's already been submitted, and we'll also take some live ones, so please keep those coming. And maybe I can kick off with the first one, and perhaps, Brun, you can maybe unpack this one for us. And it's got to do with efficiencies when you're thinking about prioritizing and designing. So are new projects prioritizing designing efficiencies with technology in their specifications? I think you spoke a bit about this in terms of what's needed from your Accor example, but what do you think about new projects?
Actually, you know, it's a set, as we just said, it has to be a systemic approach. But I really strongly agree with the fact that actually, well, I think hotel operators now they've understood that they need to push hard and they need to initiate the changes. And so that's really a new type of relationship with the hotel owners, but also with the regulators. And so it's really achieving that sort of collaboration, regulators, owners, operators, that will allow actually hotels to push and to implement that sort of new technologies, and also then to use the data to better manage it. Because again, remember, at the end of the day, you know, investing in sustainability means investing in lowering operational costs and eventually, obviously, increasing profitability.
Yeah, and I think there's a really nice comment around the smart controls that actually maybe speaks to giving access to that and the ability to do that. So somebody says they've noticed that the Hilton brand has implemented smart controls and control each room. So integrating is key to selling to any hotel and ease of use, but possibly the use of AI to control, can that help? So what are your thoughts on this one, particularly, Aldo, in terms of technology on AI controls?
I think it matches with what I briefly said already before. So
Yeah.
I think the AI will drastically simplify controls, because you move from deterministic type of approach to a system that can quickly study, behaviors and expectation and adapt to those behavior and expectations. So I have very big expectations. Look, in that sense, managing an hotel and its different rooms is a little bit like managing traffic on a road.
Yeah.
A lot of progresses will come by an holistic AI-supported, approach to the general goal. That it's a win-win for the final customer and for the hotel operator. And there are so very low-hanging fruit in that sense that I would be surprised if this doesn't take off in the next 3 to 5 years.
And thanks for that, Aldo. And there's a few questions coming through around HVAC, so maybe I'll shift gears to you, Lucy. I believe there was a comment mentioned around upgrading older hotels, which can be complex, but what challenges do hotels face when adding smart HVAC or lighting to existing systems?
Yeah, absolutely. The average hotel renovation or upgrade is between 10 to 15 years. The hotel have to do that. Then this upgrading older buildings, hotel buildings with smart HVAC or lighting system and can be very complex. This is a right question. But I think what I could think about based on all the past years, what we received is several key challenges. The first, there's kind of legacy infrastructures compatibility. Some older HVAC equipment and older lightings and some hot water system may not be designed to communicate with modern building automation platform. That's the one thing. And there's no interoperability available is because it's just a cable connection. And integrating new smart control often, required additional interface, additional sensors, or additional different type of gateways to convert different protocols and making this system interoperable. That's the number one, this legacy system. The second one is really kind of a disruption to operations. The hotel operate 24 hours, 7 days a week. So the retrofitting system must minimize disruption to guests. The installation of this kind of a new sensors or controllers or varying, I often need a very having kind of careful schedule or phases, the implementation, implementation, and a lot of coordinations across multiple floors and then different departments. Then the number three I could imagine is data integration and visibility, which you were asking the question because that's so important.
Yeah.
And the legacy system may not provide real-time data and the standardization protocols, right? And so this is making a lot of challenges to consolidate energy, HVAC, lighting, those kind of data. And that's why there's a lot, and then many other things like space, equipment, containers, constraints, and also additional regulations with the timing, with the years, and then also some safety compliance is all coming in. So in short, the retrofitting smart HVAC and lighting in the older hotel required very careful planning, even required more experience to understand hotel management, hotel automation.
Thanks very much for that, Lucy. There's a question around guest management software. So why don't I get Aldo to maybe add in here? But somebody would love to know what ABB would do in relation to guest management software and dashboards used for the staff. Is it local to ABB or third-party integration?
I could first, I think
That's a very specific question, but Lucy, please go on.
As I completed it, I realized maybe this could be something. But on your point, Aldo, is there anything on the future? So maybe let's start with Lucy and we can shift over to you.
Yeah. So I start, and then Ado will complete the whole thing. As you know, we are doing hotel, and we cannot avoid guest room management. And guest room management, we are, famous from ABB that we're providing product and solutions. But guest room management, actually, in our ABB side, we also have ABB branded guest room management software, which seamlessly integrated with our hotel solution already. And of course, with many hotels, there have different third-party guest room software, and we are also be able to integrate with third-party guest room software solutions.
Okay. Anything to add, Aldo? Because I do have another question for you. I'm just conscious of time. We've got about 3 more
No, I
minutes.
think it was perfect what Lucy said.
Good,
So we can go with the next.
Well, this is a nice challenging one, and I love this topic. Every time it often comes up when we speak about our electrification solutions, but with regards to digital twin, can we have a digital twin for electrical systems, Aldo?
We already have digital twin for electrical components. Then going to the electrical system is the next level. It's doable. I think we should create here a kind of a virtuous circle with the hotel operators to understand exactly what the specific needs would be in that industry. But we are already using a lot digital twins in the generic building industry. I think in the hotel industry there is some specific needs, but this is really a co-innovation exercise. It's ABB plus the hotel operators.
Yeah. And I think leads me to the next question around, do you plan to offer training and how to use the technology in hotels? I think this is a very valid question and something that we need to consider as we even think about our next live series and as we expand driving awareness in the hospitality area. So thank you very much for that question. I do believe it's going to help us to define next steps in terms of this segment. So thank you for that, and watch the space. Let's go to the next one. I think that we answered a bit about it, Lucy, but let's just make sure that you've covered all aspects, considering there's a few coming through around HVAC. So how will the building energy management system continuously monitor and optimize HVAC lighting and hot water loads across all floors to prevent excessive peak demand charges while maintaining guest comfort? So a nice question. A bit more detail needed, maybe.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys give
Yeah, it's a very nice question. It's quite challenging for me. But I'm HVAC engineer, and so let me try. I think the system will continuously monitor, and once we have a BMS system connect with all the different application disciplines across HVAC, lighting, and hot water system, and to continues to reduce the peak demand changes with ensuring this kind of guest comfort. But then how does it work? Number one, it's very clear there's a real-time monitoring. And there's sensors and smart meters and track energy consumption, temperature, humidity, occupants, hot water, and so on, and across in the floors and different kind of room spaces. Those kind of BMS collect this data continuously, provide the live overview of energy usage and system performance. This is a number one wonderful things through those BMS system. And second, with analysis and with the system can learn and making smart decisions will be predictive optimizations. This using the historical consumption pattern and predict the algorithm. And this BMS or EMS anticipate peak loads before they occur. And for HVAC chillers, air handling units, and lighting system, are adjusted dynamically and to pre-cooling or preheating spaces during the low demand period and dimming lights in unoccupied area and optimize hot water heating schedule. Actually, I did this typical applications 20 years ago. And also have some demand response management And this typical system can temporarily reduce the non-critical loads during the peak period to avoid extensive peak. I think there's a lot of this, the knowledgeable people knowing and putting in our hotel solutions, and even have the integrated control system across different tabs, and continuous feedback and learning, improving.
Yeah, because I mean, just to, in a nutshell, we need this because otherwise you would dimension on the peak, and this would be unsustainable.
No,
plain and simple. So,
is there a digital twin for the HVAC system? It's one of the questions that's also come through. Would that be feasible? What do you think?
it is feasible, but we need to find a good reason why we embark in that journey to have all this digital twin at the component and system level. We need to find the right case that justify that we do this, because it need to simplify something else if we do. It cannot be just an obligation.
I want to give a little bit hangers here, maybe for the next session. If people want to come back to us to listen more, and definitely I would really come into the digital twin topics with our hotel solution.
Thank you very much, guys. That brings us to the end of the Q&A section, but I would like to, before we wrap up, like to hear one quick takeaway from each of you. And maybe let's phrase it in this way. What's the single most important action hotels should take now to future-proof their sustainability journey? And maybe we'll give the floor to Brune, and thereafter Aldo, and we'll close on Lucy.
I think it's really proactivity. So hotels they really must proactively adapt to new legislation. It's really the best way of avoiding legal risks, but also, rising costs and even workforce challenges. So really proactivity to adapt to new legislation. That would be my key takeaway.
And thereafter Aldo, and we'll close.
Okay, on the technology angle, and then I let Lucy conclude. On the technology angle, my suggestion is invest in new technology, invest with a grain of salt. So use modularity, start where you have the strongest need, and then expand. So open system, modular, easy, and just go.
Great. Lucy.
Very, very nice. From my side, I really think the hotels can no longer treat sustainability and guest experience as separate goals. They must go hand in hand. And here I want to do a small advertisement from our ABB. So at ABB, we really bring decades of proven expertise in smart hotel solutions. And our goal is really to be a one-stop partner. We help hotels automate processes, resources planning, boost the sustainability, and improve operation efficiencies, and deliver, the personalized or a seamless guest experience. Through our thinking hotel approach, we listen to the industry's challenge and turn them into smart integrated solutions. Basically, in short, we gave hotel operators the tools to future-proof their operations and achieve net zero ambition, keep our guests coming back to the hotel.
Fantastic. No, thank you all. So, staying ahead of hotels, we clearly need to adapt to legislation, invest with technologies, and obviously create those opportunities, right, by answering to some of the challenges, as well as, most importantly, those customer needs. So thank you so much to all our panelists for joining us today and sharing their expertise. This was our very first episode of Thinking Lives Hotel. So we appreciate the audience being here today and dedicating this time to learning more about how we can improve and really address the challenge we face within sustainability in hotels. The recording will be available on ABB Electrification LinkedIn page, so you can explore more on our website on www.electrification.com/hospitality. So don't miss episode 2 in October, and it was lovely hosting you all today, and thank you on behalf of myself as well as the panelists here today. Have a lovely day, everyone.